Everyone, and welcome to another special interview with an ESL icon. Our guest today has contributed prolifically to the Cambridge IGCSE English as a Second Language world. She has authored Success Int'l English Skills, which is in line with the latest syllabus change for the Cambridge English as a Second Language framework. She has also authored 2 more books focusing on exam skills, summary, writing and note-taking. Thank you so much for joining me, Marian.
You're welcome.
Today I want you to walk us through the latest syllabus changes. Could you please just bring teachers and students up to speed with those changes?
Yeah, the new syllabus slims down the exam paper, so now students have 6 tasks to complete, and the exam assessment objectives are very highly targeted. So each exercise tests different skills. The first exercise is a short answer reading comprehension, and students have to select and identify relevant information. They don't need to write in full sentences. The second, exercise 2, is completely different now, very different. It's called a multiple matching exercise, and it's based on 4 texts, 4 extracts, and students are given a list of 10 questions, and they have to, for the extended, and they have to choose the correct text to match the question. There'll only be 1 text matching each question, or 1 aspect of the text.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes students might get a little bit confused between 2 texts. They might seem, the answers might seem, oh, well, this question applies to 2 texts. No, it'll only ever apply to 1 text.
Okay, and exercise 3 still, you know, from the old syllabus, which is the note-making exercise.
It's note-making, it's read a text, answer notes, underheadings and bullet points for guidance.
And the following exercise is
summary writing,
which has seen some changes in the new syllabus.
Yes.
Right?
Core and extended have different texts for this question. It is a challenging exercise because summary writing uses many skills. So on the extended paper now it's worth 16 marks. So what's happening with the new syllabus is that note-taking and summary in particular are gaining more marks, and the compositions are also gaining more marks.
Okay.
So we've got rid of 1 exercise completely.
That's right. So the exercise number 5 is still again, you know, coming from the old paper, which is writing an informal email to a friend.
That's exactly right.
And the last question, or the last exercise on this paper, has seen also some changes or some additions, like...
It now includes a report for the head teacher or a person of authority.
Okay.
So that is a different approach, slightly different approach. It can be a report, a review, or a discursive essay. So it's discursive composition.
What do you mean by discursive?
A discursive composition is where the student is given a question and they put forward their point of view. They give opinions and they argue, put a semi-formal argument forward, giving opinions really and points of view.
Yeah, can they also write a for and against article?
They could write a for and against article. What is important is to read the question carefully and address the question. Okay.
Now, we've got loads of questions regarding, a lot of teachers and students are asking about the difference between the report writing and the article. And they argue actually about whether to write with subheadings or just write in continuous prose. What do you think about this?
Continuous prose is necessary.
Okay.
Writing with subheadings is not required. They won't lose marks if they put in subheadings, but they don't have to. They write in continuous prose.
Fantastic. And how about the register and the tone?
The important thing about the report is to have a formal, semi-formal tone and register. Address the audience. If the audience is the head teacher, the report should sound right for going to the head teacher. It shouldn't be, hiya guys.
I see it.
Yeah, it should sound right for the head teacher, so it should sound reasonably formal.
It makes more sense actually, because the previous exercise, which requires writing an email to a friend, which is an informal task.
It is informal.
And then moving on to the following exercise, this means that they should write in a more formal register.
They should write in a more formal register. That is the distinction between the two compositions. As we're going through the paper, there's an incline of difficulty. So by the time they get to the last and final task, that is the most challenging task of the paper.
Okay. There's a question that some students actually find also a bit challenging, which is when they write emails to friends or reports, for example, they usually start by writing to, from, subject, date.
Yeah.
Do these details
That's not
count?
relevant. It's not wrong if they do it and they won't lose marks, but it's not necessary. What they're marked on is continuous prose. And they're not marked on the convention of setting out an email.
Oh, right.
That's
so
not relevant.
That could be a waste of time for them.
It could be, it is a waste of time. Because
Okay.
they'll be marked on the content and the continuous prose.
And the covering of the bullet points as well.
And the covering of the bullet points. A common mistake is for students not to read the questions carefully enough. Read them very carefully, because if they start right, they'll be right. But if they get the question, the task wrong, they'll continue to be wrong. So take that bit of time to read the question carefully, underline the key words of the question, and then with the bullet points, they have to cover all the bullet points in order to get the full marks.
Okay.
They have to be covered.
Thank you. One final question before we bring this interview to an end, which is some students exceed the word limit. Now I'm talking about the extended writing section, which is in the email and the article, the report, or the review. Will they lose marks if they go beyond the word limit?
They won't lose marks, but they won't gain marks. They focus on keeping to the word limit. And if they go a few words over, it won't matter that much, but the question is designed to be answered in that word length, and they should aim at that and practice that. If they begin to ramble and go to a lengthy piece, they won't get any more marks, so there's no point in doing it.
Okay. Sorry for that. I said it was a final question, but I just remember one thing that you guys asked me about, which is a lot of students can actually sometimes write pre-learned sets of language, and they write them as a cliche in the extended writing section. So how do you treat this as an examiner?
It will depend on how they address the task. They will be, or every question set in any exam paper is never the same as a question that was set before. There'll always be a new angle, a different tweak. So it's pointless, in my view, to pre-learn answers.
They actually, for example, memorize an introduction or a conclusion. And once they read the question, they just go straight away and write this introduction down. And you may notice this when you, for example, look at different answers from different students, that you see the same introduction or the same conclusion.
Yes.
Which sounds actually something that is not original.
Well, it's not original, but if it's a standard opening or closing sentence, such as, hope, you know, I haven't written for a while, I hope you're well, that's okay, because that's natural. If it's a closing sentence, well, I have to go now, let's catch up soon, as a standard closing sentence, that's fine, but the body needs to be original.
That's right. And before we say bye, this is Marian's book, Success Int'l English Skills, 4th edition. It's a resource, again, that is in line with the latest syllabus change. It provides a lot of tips and hints on how to do, how to handle the exam, a lot of engaging text, up to date. It has a workbook, and of course a teacher resource, and soon digital classroom for teachers in schools. Thank you so much, Marian, for your time, and
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Bye bye. All the best, everybody.
Thank you.